The Starry Night is a written interpretation of Vincent van Gogh's painting, Starry, Starry Night. She seems to envy the black-haired woman in lines 2 and 3 who committed suicide. The entire poem is an explication about how the narrator is miserable and how she wants to commit suicide. The title The Starry Night is, in a sense, a contradictory title. The sky above seems quite vivacious, while the town below seems to be in complete desolation. The Starry Night is a lyrical poem. It is filled with strong emotion and it features rhymes. The time period during which the poem was written was full of despair and hardships. The diction in The Starry Night expresses negative connotations. The morbid tone of the poem reinforces the statements of how the narrator wants to die. The formal level of diction indicates that the writer was educated and that she did not use everyday speech. The statement, "the black-haired tree slips up like a drowned woman in the hot sky," is a simile because it is comparing two things using the word like. "The serpent swallows up the stars" is an example of hyperbole and an alliteration, because a hyperbole is a gross exaggeration of something and an alliteration is a repeat of consonant sounds. Examples of symbols in the poem are when the author uses the moon as a mother, the stars as children, and she uses the word boil as a meaning for agitated. The author also utilizes myth by talking about serpents, great dragons, and rushing beasts. An example of an allusion in the poem is when the author writes Starry, Starry Night because she is referencing Van Gogh's painting Starry, Starry Night. Allegory is also used in the poem by the author using images from the painting to describe death instead of outright speaking about it. All of the images and figures of speech reinforce the morbid theme of death. The use of rhyming in the poem is irregular because not every line rhymes with another. Only lines 3, 6, 9, and 12 rhyme with each other. Instead, most of the poem utilizes free verse. The lines saying, "Oh, starry, starry night, this is how I want to die," are repeated to add emphasis. The tone of the poem is morbid because the author wants to make you feel depressed in order to understand the pain that she felt. The central concern of the poem is finding a way out of the narrator's miserable life. The central theme of the poem can be summed up in one sentence. The theme of the poem is that the woman wanting to commit suicide believes that there is no longer anything to live for and she is comfortable with dying alone under the stars.